finding any survivors in the rubble fades with each passing hour. These are the numbers we know at this time. 9 people are confirmed dead. 152 people still unaccounted for. Joining me now is the Florida State Fire Marshal, Jimmy Patronis. Marshal, thanks so much for being with us this morning. I appreciate all the communication you've given us over the last few days. One of the developments over the last 24 hours is this trench that's been able to be dug through the work site. What does that provide the crews there?
So it does like a fire break. It will create, since the trench has been in place, the fires have been really nullified. But it gives the men and women an ability to work and to get underneath some of the rubble through a different perspective. The trench is essentially in between the collapse between the 2 buildings that failed.
And you were just telling me they're pulling out enormous pieces of concrete.
Yeah, so like for example, one of the pieces they were able to pull out because of the trench weighed about 12,000 pounds. And once they pulled it out, the back side of this 12,000 pound piece was all scorched. That's where the fire was underneath. So as they've been able to remove some of these, they've been able to get some of the fuel out of the system. And with the fuel going away, the fires are minimized and the work is more efficient.
The mayor here said, we don't have a resource problem, we have a luck problem. And on the issue of resources, I've been down here covering hurricanes and disasters. I've never seen so many people on a scene before. I mean, as far as the eye can see, you have people here working in the recovery, the search and rescue effort.
So it's the largest effort we've ever had in the history of the state of Florida that's not been a hurricane. And I was sitting over here, they're camped out, there's an encampment over here in this park. And I was sitting with Task Force 4 yesterday. And, some of this is new to me. And I get to ask them, I say, hey, what do you think about, I said, this is something I was thinking about. I said, could you imagine how therapeutic it'd be for everybody here when we pull somebody out? And you see this look come over everybody's face. I mean, so that's what motivates these guys, because the one is all it takes,
Their job is to save lives.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's their food, that's their nourishment. So that's why they're there, working so hard. And it is still a search and rescue operation, not a recovery operation. What would that change mean? I'm not asking you when they'll make it or what they're basing it on, but what would it mean once it's a recovery effort?
So, look, they're continuing to do the rescue effort. Recovery is not part of their dialogue. It's not part of their mission. Yesterday I spent about an hour just studying, watching them work. And there's pockets, and what they'll do is they'll bore holes. From boring holes, they'll put cameras, they'll bring dogs. If the dogs find something that makes sense, then it comes to dig out a bigger hole and put the dog in. And then the dog's reaction triggers where they go next.
So let me ask you, one of the things that we've learned over the last day is that there was this 2018 engineering report. And the people in the condo building, to an extent knew that there were cracks there were repairs that need to be made. How concerned are you that maybe warning signs weren't heeded? And how concerned are you about the safety of the other buildings in this area?
So it will be unfortunate once everything's all said and done if there were those warning signs that could have prevented this. But all I know is debating the engineering report right now is not going to save lives as much as me putting 100% of my energy and effort into supporting these men and women. But it'll be a Greek tragedy if they find that this could have all been avoided, and those families, what they're experiencing right now is so raw. It's not supposed to go through life feeling these type of pains.
And I get your focus very much on the present, but there is a present for the people in the buildings nearby.
Absolutely.
So what are you doing to reassure the people who live in, and again, there are condo buildings for hundreds of miles around the Florida coast.
So I do appreciate where Mayor Cava, rolled out and said, we're going to go and do an immediate inspection of all buildings. No questions asked that are over that 40-year-old threshold. And, and I just spitball it. I said, look, how many times do you get to do an understanding or a survey of a failed building versus its twin when you've got one that had failure and one that doesn't? So some of that is taking place right now as we speak, where building inspectors are studying the structure of the good building to be able to have a better understanding of why the other building failed.
Jimmy Patronis, Fire Marshal here. We appreciate all the work you've done. We appreciate all the communication you've given us. Let your crews, let everyone know that that we're behind them and that people appreciate the work that they're doing.
What you're doing right now is their wives and their kids are on TV, want to know what's up with their spouses, and you're putting a reality that that good's being done, and I just appreciate you, keeping people's hopes up.
Well, they're trying. I mean,
Yeah.
they're trying so hard there. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So the community here, as you can see,